It's July 20th and we have lots of things happening with our propagations. Nothing happening with this one yet, but look at all of these roots. See this guy, the one without the leaf? He's growing a root system, and right here he's growing a little leaf. I don't know how that's gonna survive in the water like that, but this one is as well. This guy has a fantastic growth happening. And then this guy doesn't have anything yet. So we're doing really well. I'm super impressed. I think I could probably plant these now, but I'm not going to because I'm leaving out of town. So we're just gonna let them be like they are for now. I didn't show you this, but I also started some mini Monstera. Not to be confused with, like, you know, your regular Monstera, but look how cute these leaves are. I just started him like 5 days ago, so he's not doing anything yet, but I'm excited. My marble queens are doing well too, and I am gonna show you this because it's super, super exciting. He's got a nice root on him, but then up here at the node, he's growing new growth. How cool is that? I just think it's the neatest thing. And the other thing I want to show you is where I clipped them on the actual plant and how well they're growing new growth as well. So this is where I snipped this marble queen, and as you can see, he started growing out of this same node up here, and he's put on one leaf already, and he's working on putting another one on. I clipped this stem right here, and as you can see, we have some growth happening at this node here. And then this is the third one that I clipped right here, and he has some nice growth happening too. I'm not gonna show you all of these, but I wanted to show you this marble queen here because it's doing so well. This is where I snipped it, and as you can see, it's already grown massive growth. It's given me one new leaf and working on another one. I'm super impressed with how resilient our plants are. Like, you can cut them and they start growing more. It just blows my mind. Plants in nature are incredible. Here are the plants that I propagated in soil. They're doing well. They're like alive and doing well. And this guy is not producing anything above the soil yet, but this guy has two, I think two, maybe three little growths. Let's see here. We've got one little growth right down here, and then we have a larger one right there, Here's my silver pothos, and I'm just gonna show you one to show you that it's just kind of doing the same thing. So I snipped it here. This was the leaf that was already there, but it's given me this new offshoot right here. Pretty cool. I'm actually blown away by how easy this process has been and how cool it's been. Next, I want to do some of my string cheese Monstera. It's just so neat to replicate your plants, you know? Hi, editing Kirsten here. I'm noticing that the little check-in that I did on July 20th and then the check-in that I'm doing today, which is August 16th. I look exactly the same. I'm wearing the exact same t-shirt. So just note that, but know that they are different days. My hair looks slightly different. Just wanted to note that, but know that they are 2 different days. Should have paid attention to that. My apologies. Here we go. Trying to get my bearings here. I'm a little exhausted here. Might have just fallen asleep on the chair with my cat here. You know, it's not really my fault. I was doing my lunch dishes and she came, like, was not leaving me alone. I stepped on her 3 times. And I looked down at her and I was like, do you need a cuddle? And she's like, so I picked her up and I took her to a chair. See her right there? And I put her on top of me and I swung my legs over one side of the chair and she like immediately fell asleep. with her head on like this part of me and her booty like way down here on the opposite side, down by my waist. And she just laid there and snored for like 45 minutes. So after like 15 minutes of just sitting there, because I didn't grab my phone, I just kind of tipped my head back and I fell asleep too. And it was the best decision I've made all day. And now she's happy and content and not in my feet. She doesn't do that often. It's probably been like maybe a month, like at least 3 weeks. She needed her mom. And while that story was fun, that's not what this video is about. It is time, finally, to talk about propagation again. First of all, wait right here. I'm gonna go get all my propagation goodies. Don't go anywhere. That's a lot of propagations. We're gonna start with the soil propagations. They're the ones that are giving me a little bit of trouble. Not bad, but a little bit. This is the silver pothos that I started propagating, and as you can see, there are some dead leaves in there. About 2 weeks ago, oh, there's still bugs. Oh, there's still bugs. About 2 weeks ago, I noticed that this guy had bugs in him, and I know it's because it's not properly draining, so it's getting like those fungus gnats, you know, too much water. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do right now. I'm thinking about maybe completely repotting this. First, I'm gonna remove the ones that are not thriving, and then I'm going to show you that we have gotten some new propagation growth. Do you see this guy right here? This leaf right here? So that is a propagation that it has come off of this initial propagation. This leaf right here has propagated a leaf right here. This guy. All right, as you can see, we've got some stuff going on down here. We're getting a propagation here. This guy is a fresh propagation. And this leaf here is actually a propagation from out of this leaf. Wouldn't you know it? Now this yellow kitty is whining. Do you need a cuddle now? Or do you just want to go outside? Can you tell everybody you got in trouble earlier when you went outside? Because you tried to jump the fence to the other side of the farm? And that's not appropriate. Those are not appropriate daughter things to do. We don't do that kind of shit around here. It scares mom. It's a little rodent. He's my little rodent. It's the cutest rodent you ever did see. Let's look at all of our marble queens. Okay, here we've got a marble queen. He was propagated with this leaf. He's given me this leaf and a beautiful root system. There are 4 marble queen pothos right here. And these big leaves, this one, these, and then this one are the ones that I propagated them, that they had when I propagated them. This guy has no additional growth, so he's not gonna get planted today. But these guys do. They're small, but there's some growth there. And then this was just an end clipping, so he just continues to grow. And then we have some growth here. So I am going to plant these guys today. Now I'm going to show you how these propagations are going. These are those 2 beautiful marble queen pothos. As you can see, they have a beautiful root system going on, and they just keep continuing to provide me leaves out of these beautiful stems. These 2 were actually new since I propagated, and then I think just this one was new since I propagated. And then we're also getting one here. I am gonna go ahead and plant these, and I'm not sure if I'm going to plant them into an existing plant or if I'm gonna start a new planter. And our last batch to look at is right here. Okay, so this guy's doing something funky here. Okay, this is the leaf that he was propagated with. He's getting a root system, but his leaves are actually growing down in the opposite direction out of the node. Normally they would grow up this way, but the node is probably protruding in a different direction. So the leaves are actually producing down here. And as you can see, this one's getting quite waterlogged. They both are. And that's just not good. So I am going to toss him. You did a good job, buddy, but not quite. This guy has a little bit of root growth, enough, but not a ton. And then this is the leaf that I started with the propagation. How beautiful is that leaf? And he's already shot me out another beautiful new, mostly white leaf, which I just think is so stunning. And then this guy, he has kind of a puny little root, but long. And then when I propagated it, it had this leaf, and this is the new growth growing out of that node. Now let's move on to the golden pothos. If you remember, I had a golden pothos that had lost a lot of its leaves, but still had a very healthy stem. So I was just like, oh, let's put them in the water and see what happens. And good news, we've actually gotten growth out of it, which is phenomenal. So here's the root system, the node that it started growing out of that was underwater, and then we've gotten 2 beautiful leaves out of him so far. These 3, when I started propagating them, all they were stems with nodes on them. They didn't have any leaves. And same with this guy. Started as a stem with some nodes. Now I have some beautiful roots. It's first leaf, and we're working on the second leaf here. This guy, as you can see, is not propagating. It's been over a month, so I'm just gonna set him to the side to put into the compost. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you get ones that don't want to cooperate, and that's okay. When I propagated him, this leaf existed, and then the stem and the nodes. Now I have roots growing out of both nodes, and then this fresh new leaf. We have a dud here, did nothing. Gonna toss it to the side. And now we have this guy. So this guy is kind of a slow bloomer. This was the leaf that I propagated him with, and he's got a root system, but he hasn't given me any new leaves. I'm gonna keep him going in some water and see how we come along. Then this guy, I propagated him with this leaf. He's given me a beautiful root system and a new leaf. Lastly, we're going to talk about the water propagated silver pothos. Okay, we've got 7 of these silver pothos. Let's see where we're at. This guy, beautiful root system. This is the leaf he was propagated with, and this is a new leaf. So I'm gonna plant him today. This guy is not doing great. He has like this tiny little root here, and he's actually starting to grow in the opposite direction. So I'm gonna toss him to the side. This guy has a beautiful root system. This is the leaf I propagated him with. He is actually growing a leaf out of this node, but he's not ready yet. So I am going to put him back in water and watch him do his thing. You know what, now that I'm looking at all of these are not very far along. I've definitely noticed that the silver pothos take quite a bit longer, but they're all kind of doing the same thing. They're kind of in that stage where here's the leaf that we were propagating with, and then this is the new growth growing out of them. So again, we've got it here and here. And then actually you're not gonna be able to see this guy, but this guy's doing it too. I'm just gonna throw all these back in the water, and we will plant them at another time. I wanna show you my new propagation that I have going on. I have what's called a mini Monstera, and he was getting kind of wobbly and out of hand, and I just don't really know what I wanna do with him yet. So I did go ahead and clip him, and I clipped this guy. Look how cool these leaves are. But I clipped this guy, and he's growing quite a root system. And then this guy, here's the root system, and then these are gonna be leaves. I just know it. They've kind of got a green tinge to them. I just have a feeling that those are gonna be leaves. So I'm gonna keep propagating that. And then I do have one more, also same thing. It's a mini Monstera, and this was the top, so it does keep producing new leaves for me as it keeps growing. And then here is the root system so far. But again, we're just gonna keep propagating this guy. I've probably only been propagating these for maybe 2 weeks. And I'm gonna say within like 4 days, they started growing roots. It was insane. They started growing roots so fast. I'm gonna go ahead and get set up for how I'm going to plant these, and I will come back and show you how I do it. Like I said, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna plant them in the same pot or if I'm gonna plant them in a different pot, but that's what I'm gonna go figure out, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, this is what I've decided to do. I have this pot, and I'm going to plant the golden pothos in it and put it in here. And then I've got this pot, and I'm going to plant the Marble Queen pothos and put it in here. These are all the goldens. This is a mixture of perlite. We've got some earthworm casting, and then this is just a houseplant mix by Purple Cow. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this all a good mix. Okay, we're gonna start with this guy. I've just got another little pot to scoop the soil up with, and I'm just gonna fill it up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and place these in the soil, and I'm just gonna kind of like stick my finger down as far in as I can, and I'm gonna make sure to get this root down in the soil. Now all this guy is a big gaudy stem, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this one right now. These are clean scissors, and I'm going to place him in the pot. And make sure you get all those roots in there. Again, we've got this guy. We're gonna cut him down here. Make sure you keep that node. Kind of wrap his roots up. Make sure they get in there. Now it's time to do the marble queen. Look at all these beautiful leaves. Let's start with this guy right here. This was an end node that I cut off of. He's got a beautiful root system. He's just gonna continue to keep growing out of this formation, and I'm just gonna stuff him down as far as I can. Same with this guy. He was an end piece. He's got a beautiful root formation here, and we're just gonna stuff him down. As you can see, this guy kind of has an ugly stem right there, which we don't need. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off carefully. Get him all down in there good. This guy has two root systems growing, so I am going to go ahead and cut this one off and just plant this one. He's planted. All right, these two are planted now. This is the marble queen, this is the golden. I just have them in a little bit of water, hoping that they will soak a little bit up. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little spritz because they're not really holding their water well, which is good. You want it to drain, but it's just draining so fast because the soil's so fresh. Also, when planting from a water propagation, you want to keep these really moist because the roots are used to being in water. You don't want to stun them and kill them. As for this guy, I have decided not to repot it yet. I'm going to add some more of this systemic bug stuff. It hasn't been watered for probably 2 weeks because I was trying to get the bugs to die. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a really good spritz and try to get some of that houseplant killer down into the soil so it will kill more of those gnats if they're still alive. Okay, this is where we're at with the propagations. First and foremost, this guy, the one with the fungus gnats. I'm going to leave him as is. He's been moistened. I'm going to go put him back out in the garage in the east window where he gets plenty of sun and he can dry out properly and very, very nice. And we're just gonna hope for the best. And if all else fails, then we just call this one a wash, and we've had some great success in the other areas. Here's the other one that I soil propagated in the last propagation video, and this is the marble queen. He's thriving, he's doing really well. I'm really proud of him. I think he has a better draining pot, which really helps. And I did have him outside just because he was next to the other one, but I'm not seeing any bugs in him, so I am going to put him back upstairs where I can keep a close eye on him and see him every day. As for my mini Monstera propagations that I started, I am going to just continue to keep propagating them and see how it goes, see how the roots grow, when we start getting new leaves, all that kind of stuff. I probably won't post a video about it on here on YouTube, but if you follow me on Instagram at Kirsten K, K-I-R-S, the number 10, K-A-Y, I will be updating you on there for sure. These are also propagations from the very first video. We have one golden pothos and one marble queen pothos that just aren't quite up to speed yet with the other ones, which is why I didn't plant them. And then all of these guys are silver pothos, and they're all doing well. They're ready to burst out a leaf like any day now, but I just wanted to make sure that they got that done before I went ahead and planted them into the soil. And lastly, the ones that we did today. This is the beautiful marble queen pothos that I have been water propagating. Let's see, we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We ended up with 8 different slips that we had been propagating that we were able to plant into the soil. So I'm super excited for this. This is the golden pothos. We were able to get 7 propagations out of this. This guy is so cute. I got this at Culver's Garden Center, and it's a hanging one. How cute is that? I love doing my pothos in a hanging basket because, well, they just vine so beautifully. And we're just gonna put him in there like that. And then I can just hang him from anywhere. How cute! Before we go, I do have one last thing to show you, and that would be where I cut all these stems off in order to propagate these pothos. I want to show you how my plants are doing after they've been cut. We're gonna start here with this marble queen. I made a cut here, and as you can see, he started growing out of the above node beautifully, and he's already given me all of these leaves. 1, 2, 3. The other place that I made a cut is right here, and as you can see, he is growing beautifully out of the node and given me 2 leaves. Those are all the cuts that I made on that one. This is my other Marble Queen pothos, and he also had 2 cuts taken from him. As you can see, this is where I made the cut, and he is growing beautifully out of that node and has given me 1, 2, 3 beautiful leaves, and he's working on a 4th right here. This guy was trimmed here, and he is beautifully growing above that node. Look at this. This is gorgeous. 1, 2, look at that leaf. Oh my God. 3, 4 leaves. Up here we've got my golden pothos. I ended up trimming him way up here at the top, and he has given me 2 leaves already, 1 here and 1 here. I think that was actually it for this plant. Also, this is the one that had all of those nodes with no leaves on them that I propagated that ended up doing really well. So if you have a big bare spot that you just want to get rid of, propagate them. It's an amazing thing. I ended up making 4 cuts on my silver pothos. Here is the first one I'm going to show you. I've noticed that they're just much slower for propagation. As you can see, this is where I made the cut. We have gotten a new leaf out of this node. So this was the existing leaf. This is the new one, and then we're working on getting one here. The next place I cut this was right here, and as you can see, above the node, we are getting quite a bit of growth here. We've gotten 1 beautiful leaf, and we're working on another one here. The third place I made a cut is here, and this guy's doing great. We've got a leaf here, and working on one here. And then the last place that I made a cut, also doing really well, made it here. This was the existing leaf. We have 1 new leaf, 2 new leaves, and working on a 3rd one. So he's doing quite well. I'm very impressed. That's it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed learning about propagating, and I hope this made you less scared to try it yourself. I know the first time I went to do it, it was like torture cutting my plants. Like I felt so bad that I was doing it. But as you can see, they thrive. They do a really great job. They like to have that stringy weight cut off of them. So it's kind of like a haircut for you, you know? It feels so good. Do it to your plants too. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe, comment. I love to read your comments. Share it with a friend, share it on your social media. I don't know the most about plants, but I love plants and I love learning and I love fiddling with them. So if you are a beginner, I really hope that this little tutorial has helped you gain some confidence in propagating your plants. Have a great rest of the day wherever you're at in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye.